Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips, and we just got a letter, an edit letter from my agent. If I wasn't afraid of being copyrighted, I would do the little Blues Clues "We Just Got a Letter" song, but I'm not gonna even try doing that. So anyway, I got an edit letter though from my agent. And if you shrink down the text to 11 point size and shrink the margins on your paper, it will fit on one page. Let me back up just a smidge in case you're new here or in case you somehow forgot. The last like 2 videos I posted were, I got an agent. It was very exciting. So now we are abandoning for the moment the work in progress I had been doing for the last several months. We're going back to Rogue's Guide because I have to work on a few bits of revision there before it will be ready for submission. So this is gonna feel so weird because for me, for the past 2 projects that I've queried, when I was ready to query the book, I started querying it and I was like done. The book was done to me. And I never was like going back into those projects like fiddling with words or, oh my gosh, I got a full request. Let me just like go in and make sure. No. I finished the book and I did not look at it again. And in a part of my brain, I was just sort of like detached from the project because that just helped me, I don't know. I just needed it to be done. I needed it to be in people's inboxes and not thinking, oh, I should change this or change. No, we're not changing anything else. A part of my brain had kind of detached from this project, and now I have to go back to it because I'm getting it ready to go on submission. So this edit letter has a bunch of the things that we had talked about on our call, a few new little pieces, but overall, the suggestions that she is making in this edit letter are pretty minor things. She has a chunk of like bullet points at the top of the letter where she was like, here's all the stuff I liked. And then at the bottom of the letter is like, here's a few things we want to fix up. Again, most of this is really just tweaking small aspects of a couple different scenes. There's really, I think, only one where she's suggesting that instead of one of the characters relating an incident in sort of like exposition or not quite flashback, but I have a later chapter in the book where Christopher is upset about something and he's telling Hannah about it. And she was saying in this letter, she was like, it might be better to show us that scene instead of have him just tell her about it. So there might be one like new scene to write. That'll be a challenge. Oh my gosh. When was the last time we drafted something? But I think that's maybe like the biggest piece. And it won't be, like I said, it won't be making up something brand new because I already know what the scene would be. He's telling her about it in the current scene. So anyway, yeah, I don't feel like this is going to take me all that long to get through. It's Thursday. Oh, I should probably tell you that. It's Thursday, July 3rd at the moment. And we're going to have a little phone call, Zoom call, something, check in, just so that we can go over the letter and chat about it a little further. I think that's going to get scheduled for tomorrow though. July 4th. Happy July 4th. So I'm looking forward to that. And in the meantime, I started this last night. I am rereading the project for the 1,872nd, 354th time. I'm telling you right now, if you want to be a writer, you better love what you are writing because you are going to reread it 10,000 times. I do like this book. I've also read it a bunch of times. I should add this on Goodreads so I can be like reread. But yeah, I opened up the file last night and just sort of started. I'm not like hardcore reading it. I'm doing a little bit of skimming, but I just kind of wanted to reread it, get back into the flow of the pacing and the voice and the characters so that then I'll be ready to do these edits. Because I really haven't looked at it since the very end of March. So it's been 3 months, 2 months. Wait, how many months is that? April, May, June. Yeah, it's been 3 months. Good job, me. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I do have tomorrow off work for the holiday and everything. And so I'll have a tidy little 3-day weekend on my hands. And hopefully I'll be able to get through, I don't know, at least some of these items on the list. And I don't know if I have a particular goal in mind in terms of like when am I going to finish the revisions. I really can't see it taking more than a couple weeks. We'll see. I also feel extremely out of practice in terms of like writing, because June was really a wash in a lot of ways. I had, I think, one vlog where I vlogged like a whole week of me working on my current, you know, like brainstorming slash semi outlining project, whatever we're doing with that. And that was like the second week of June, I want to say, that I filmed that. And I really haven't done very much at all since then. I kind of at one point just sort of, I was just like, I gotta just like not even pretend to work on this, because I was so stressed about all of the calls and who's responding and who's wanting a full, and am I going to hear from this person, and all of the things that we've talked about the last 2 weeks. So I almost feel like rusty. Like, wait, what are words? I don't know how this works. But I feel like once I start and get back into it, I'll be fine, and I can do these revisions, get them back to her, and then I don't know what we'll do from there. Line edits, maybe some other, you know, refine it a little bit. I don't know, but we'll get to all that later. For now, this weekend, we're just going to be focused on doing some of these revisions. I'll check in with you probably tomorrow, because I still have to do like the rest of my work day today. But I'll check in with you tomorrow, and we'll get started on revising this project and getting it ready for submission. Good morning. It's Friday. I started my day in peace and quiet. Just kidding, that's a lie. If you would like to hear what our morning usually sounds like, I'll put the sound back on for that coffee clip. That's Jade screaming for her breakfast. So anyway, it's a little late in the morning, but that's fine. I have my call with Alex at 3 this afternoon, so I've got a couple hours to go until that. I almost finished rereading the whole book yesterday, asterisk. By reread, okay, listen, I've read the book so many times. I was like reading most of it. And then there were certain parts where I was just kind of like skimming through it. So I just really wanted to remind myself of like all of the plot points, the characters, the voice, like just get back kind of into the mood of that story and that book and everything. So I have a couple chapters left to go. I'm going to do that here shortly. And then I think what I'm going to do is take her edit letter and kind of mark chapters where there's things to consider working through, right? And then after the call, I assume I can go in and do a little bit more fiddling, and then we'll actually get started with stuff hopefully tomorrow. I do have quite a bit of other stuff I need to get to this weekend. The EFA class I'm in the middle of is it's the advanced class, and it's 6 weeks instead of 4. So we just finished week 4, and I have 2 more weeks to go. I haven't touched any of the week 5 materials yet, so I really need to get to that. Or did I? No, I didn't. I glanced at some of it, but I need to like watch the videos and do the homework and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to at least get through a good chunk of that this weekend, and then that stuff is due on Tuesday. I have a Patreon critique I need to do, so yeah. Let me go ahead, pull up my book over here, and finish this little reread. It's been weird reading through this again, because parts of it I'm like, oh, I love it so much. I love these characters. And then other parts I'm like, you sent this to industry professionals for them to like read? Are you out of your mind? This is so cringe. Ew. It's fine. It's fine. There's just parts where I'm just like, wow, the transition here is rough, girl. What are you doing? It's fine. We can fix things. We can zhuzh it up even more. Okay. Okay, the reread is complete, and I'm gonna go in with this edit letter and just sort of like mark some of the chapters where I think stuff is, we could do some things here. Hot take. The last line of the book is worse and more difficult to write than the first line of a book. I don't like the last line of the book. I think it's been the last line of the book since like the first draft, and I was like, here's the last line, and I just haven't thought of anything different. I need to think of a different last line because it's a little cringe. But yeah, so let me get this edit letter out. I'm going to do some highlights on it because why not? And then we'll get to marking some stuff. Okay, all done. I think I might have like 2 new scenes to write and then a couple scenes to do some little tweaking additions to. I really don't think this is going to take all that long. The idea of writing a new scene is a little intimidating, but I'm also like, generally my scenes are around 2,000 words and I can write 2,000 words in a day. So 2 days to write 2 new scenes, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking this will definitely be done by the end of the month for sure. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna take a break. It's 12:30. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go get some lunch and then we'll be back to this. Well, actually, I think I might actually switch over and do some of that EFA work. I don't want to do too much before we've had our phone call because I don't want something else to come up there where I'm like, oh wait, now I gotta undo stuff, you know? So anyway, lunch and then some EFA video watching. Okay, I finished watching all of the videos for this week's EFA lessons, which was great. I made my forum post. I'm doing fantastic. And yeah, I'll do the homework sometime soon. This call is supposed to be very soon, in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do that. Talk to my agent. I'm excited to get started on these edits and these revisions and everything. Excited to be done again with the book. Okay, that went really well. We basically just went over the edit letter, made sure we were both on the same page with everything. She was kind of like, take the time you want to take for it, because I'd asked about like, you know, do you have a deadline in mind for when you want to see this back? She was like, I don't want to pressure and make you, you know, rush through something. So anyway, I was like, I'm pretty sure I can be done with this by the end of the month. And she said that would be perfect. She said we could then take like August to do any final cleanups, a little bit of line editing, that kind of stuff. And then if it's ready, we'll go on sub after Labor Day. She said August is a lot of times like really slow, and after Labor Day it kind of picks up again, and I think that's great timing. You know, it's before the very end of the year, because a lot of times again, like December, New Year's, it slows down, I know, at that point too. But September would be a good time to go on sub, so that's exciting. That's exciting. So anyway, I've got my marching orders and I'm ready to dive in. So let's go back to chapter 2 and start working on stuff. Devastating update. We emailed after the call about one quick thing, and at the very end of her email, she was like, oh, make sure you leave on track changes. I had not considered doing the revisions within Word, so I either have to switch to Word, or I'm gonna have to do everything in Scrivener and then transfer it over, that would be so annoying. Oh. Track changes is great until it's not. I think I'm gonna do it in Scrivener and then just transfer it to Word. Am I stupid? Oh. I think because I do a lot of like fiddling, where I change something and then I change it back, and then I change something and then I change it again and then I change it, you know? And with track changes on it, it gets really messy. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'm not giving up Scrivener yet, okay? All of my things are there. All of my things are in Scrivener. I love Scrivener. This feels like I've been lounging in like first class and they're asking me to go to like economy. It's fine. I'll deal with it. Can you hear Jade? She's just barking at like nothing. I don't know what she's doing. Anyway, it's well after 4 o'clock. I'm going to call it here for today. I feel organized. I've got my Scrivener document ready to go because we're just going to do things in Scrivener first. Okay, leave me alone. And then I've got little checklists. I've got things noted in my planner. So I'm very excited. We'll get into revising chapter 2 tomorrow. See you then. Hello and good morning from me and my trash can that is supposedly safe from Jade up there. Anyway, it's Saturday, but it feels like Sunday because we had yesterday off, and today is day 2 of not having work, which is always Sunday, but not this weekend because it's a 3-day weekend. Anyway, it's Saturday. And in about 15 minutes, I'm going to get on a FaceTime call with Becca from Becca Tobar's channel. Like the Becca Tobar, not like some other Becca from her channel. We're gonna have a little work session together, which I'm excited about. If you, for some reason, don't know her channel, which would be a little embarrassing for you, I'll put a link to it below. She creates really beautiful writing vlogs that you would never find on this channel, but you can watch beautiful writing vlogs over on her channel. So yeah, we're gonna do a little work session together, and I'm gonna dive into these revisions, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna start back with Chapter 2, we're going to do a little tweaking to their meet cute and then go from there. So I need to refill my water glass. Nahan's outside at the moment. I need to get him back inside before this call starts. Otherwise, he will start barking like the second the call starts, and I'm not about to deal with that. So yeah. So let me get myself all ready, then we'll get to work. Hey, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, that was super fun. It was nice just chatting. We chatted for a while and then we did a little writing sprint. I think I'm basically done with chapter 2. This is the chapter that has their like official meet cute. Her suggestion was to sort of like ramp up the tension between them and the fact that in the beginning they really get off to a bad start. And so, anyway, I was fiddling mainly with like the dialogue section of where they're talking, and I think it's better. We'll see. I'm gonna leave it for a second. I'll come back and reread it and see what I think, you know, a few hours down the line. I think I'm gonna move on to the next chapter that needs a little revision. This chapter has like a scene break sort of in the middle. The first part I'm not messing with. It's sort of the second part where we get a reveal and like a reaction from Hannah. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like tweaking her reaction a bit so that she's a little more conflicted with what she's finding out. So that should be fun. I'm gonna grab a little snack first. I don't know what I'm gonna grab. We don't have very much right now. I need to go to the grocery store, but I'll grab something and then I'll come back here and start working on this next scene, I guess. Okay, I went to grab a sweater from the laundry basket, which obviously I haven't actually put away the laundry, the clean laundry, so it's just sitting there. And I found this. Hold on. The little string should look like this, like a regular drawstring. It now looks like this. What happened in the washing machine and or the dryer? It's all like twisted. I don't know how well you can see that. Anyway, I'm wondering if it got caught like in the door and then it was just spinning. Anyway, so now the sweater looks a little more ratty than it did before. We love it. I'm going to go ahead and get into chapter 22, which is right about the midpoint. I think I said this already, there's like a conversation in there that needs to change a little bit. So I'm going to jump into that. I'm going to try to finish that up relatively quickly. And then I might pause this and do something else. Because like I said earlier, there's a lot of other stuff on my to-do list. So let me try to get this done and we'll do something else later. All right, I'm done sort of with chapter 22. I've done at least like the first go through of adding some things in. And yeah, I guess I'll come back to this sometime later and fix it up a little bit more. I'm trying really hard to complete the suggestion that's been made for how to improve the scene without adding like 500 new words, you know? So I'm trying to keep the word count in check. So far I've only added like a couple hundred words between these two, like total between chapters 2 and 22. So that's not terrible at all. And the next scene I'll work on is literally the next scene in the book, 23, which I think this one I'm adding a character to a scene. Is that what I'm doing? She'll fit well within the scene. Like it would make sense why she could be there. So it won't be like awkward to add her in. But I do think it'll need the extra words to make her a real part of the scene, if that makes sense. Anyway, we'll get to that tomorrow. I'm getting kind of tired of looking at a screen right now. So I'm going to go do something else on my to-do list. And we'll be back tomorrow to finish out this long weekend. Good morning. We're back here again, and I'm going to start working on chapter 23. This is the chapter where I'm going to try to add a new character into the scene. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. It's not the longest chapter in the world. It's at 2,300 words at the moment, so it's not overly long in any way. I think I know how I want to work this in. So let's get started on that. I'd like to get this one. I feel like this one's definitely going to take longer than the ones we did yesterday. So if I can get this chapter done today, that'll be great. My goal for myself was to finish the 4 chapters that need like little bits of revision by the end of this coming week, like by the 11th. So I think I'll be able to hit that with ease. But yeah, if I can get this one done today, that'll be great. I still have a Patreon critique I need to do today. And then I think I'm going to push the EFA homework to like tomorrow. It's not due until Tuesday, so I could do it tomorrow. That won't be a problem. That's the plan. It's almost 10 o'clock, so a little later, but that's fine. And yeah, I need to just kind of get going. I really want to take a nap, but we're going to do some work instead. This just in, writing is hard, and apparently I'm really bad at it. It's a little after 11. I've been sitting here for like an hour, and I've written 277 words. And they're bad. They're bad. Like, I'm not even like, they're so bad, and they're like actually really good. No, they're like legitimately not good. I haven't drafted anything in so long. I don't even know. Like, when was the last time I sat down and drafted anything? Like 6 months ago? Oh man, 7 months ago? Like, it's been a really long time. And so I just am like, and especially when you see like the new drafted words right next to like really polished like 8th draft words, they're just cringe. They're just super cringe. And I hate it. And I don't think it can be a writer. I think I'm going to have to email my agent and be like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I can't do that. And then it's fine. I'll do it. But they're really bad words right now. Am I done with this chapter? No. Is it almost noon? Yes. Am I going to take a break for lunch? Yes. I'm having a hard time concentrating too. I think when we get back from lunch, this thing here is going to have to go in the phone box. The phone box, it's right up there. Because it's distracting. So, all right. Lunchtime, real quick lunchtime. Okay, we're not taking like an hour and a half for lunch, Meredith. Just real quick lunch. And then we're going to try to come back here and finish this dang chapter up. In a twist of events that will shock absolutely no one except for myself, imagine putting your phone away and putting like a fake timer on yourself will actually make you do work. It was wild. All right, I'm done for the moment with this chapter. I'm not checking anything off my list yet because I feel like this is just first draft version. I definitely want to go in and like tweak this because the words are rough. But chapter 23 at least has like an initial version done. Okay, I have one more chapter. Yes, one more chapter to do a little bit of tweaking to. That one should be easier. And then my goal for myself, I think I already said this, was to have these like smaller revisions finished by July 11th. I think the day this video goes live actually, which I think that should be totally doable. So I'm gonna let this sit for today and I'm gonna go ahead and do the Patreon critique and then, I don't know, I might be done for the day, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what I have time and energy for. But all in all, pretty good weekend, honestly. I feel like I got a good amount done. I love having a checklist, so that's very satisfying. Overall, I think I did a pretty good job. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button. I usually post videos on Fridays. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye! Next time, in which I have to actually draft like a whole new chapter. Remember when I said I was like, oh, I can write 2,000 words a day? Lols. We'll see about that. Tune in next week.